is at a crossroads. This new one world government, we must be very careful. Decisions are not being made in our capitals. They are being made in foreign capitals. The Liberian people must be left to determine their destiny. Could we continue fighting? Yes. But above all else, the people must matter. I say to my colleague, the chairman of the African Union, the chairman of ECOWAS, Africa is at a crossroads. This new one world government, we must be very careful. Decisions are not being made in our capitals. They are being made in foreign capitals. The Liberian people must be left to determine their destiny.
In the morning, I was plastic, downtown. I want to go. I'm thinking, on est bien, côté sur la bleu. I say, I saw on Galileo. He said, I push up one thing. I put it down. Take it from there. I was scared. I say, I saw on Galileo.
Let the issues to develop our country should not be tied around politics. It should not be politicized. We want this country to benefit from what is truly deserved from the national cake of this country. But to holistically want to commit this country for a few, for a particular group of Europeans, I think that's totally unfair to the vast majority of our people. I will never come here to you today and say to you because I am a sedition. And I think everybody in this country should be sedition and say because you're not a sedition, you do not have the right to survive. No, our messages will define us. We think this country will be fine, greater than what it is when its sons are united, when its sons are reconciled. We are against division in this country. We go against people, few group of people who continuously want to delve themselves into actions that send a misconception about our country. My fundamental issue is that the leaders of this country must take leadership. They got to take leadership. The leaders of this country.
But you see, a presidential material, I would say a big no. Why? There are several reasons. When he was Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, he informed Madam Salim, our former president, then the president of Liberia, that a group of people from Grand Judah and member country led by Honorable former Speaker George Cocker had plotted a coup against Madam Salim, and that led to the arrest and imprisonment for a year or two, suffering in jail behind bars. He goes to member and he tells the people, President Ware is a role, is a thief. This is a lawyer and a street lawyer. You have not, this president has not been audited, and you call this man role. No evidence. Insulting the president in our country, and he is not known in the country. He's not known. Truly speaking, he's not known, and he will go nowhere.
A break with these imperialist forces. It's simple. We denounce the agreements. Everything starts from there. I think the example of Chad in any case is tangible. They started by denouncing the agreements. Otherwise, if we don't denounce the agreements, just saying that the bases leave, we haven't done anything. Because the problem lies in the colonial agreements, the defenses that have been signed since independence. The most dangerous is not the one you see in the bases. The most dangerous are the military advisors. Military advisors exist in all these countries. They existed in Burkina as well until the end of 2022, until we took responsibility. And who are these military advisors? They are the ones who are supposed to implement France's policy here. They must work to make our armies very weak so that France can always have the argument to exist here. Under their influence, they had succeeded. Our sentinels were therefore standing guard with sticks. That's what France wants from our armies. When we reach this stage, we have no choice but to want them to come and settle. But the Burkinabe army managed to get rid of the military advisors. Unfortunately, I think that in 2019, after Operation Otapono, where the French saw that the Burkinabe army still had the capacity to respond to terrorists. They called the chiefs of staff in France. They instructed him to reintegrate the military advisors throughout the structure. Well, they did not agree. But upon returning to the country, the politicians instructed him to accept the military advisors. And that's when the military advisors returned to the Burkinabe army in 2019. With all the consequences we know, the army was on the verge of disappearing in the years 2020, 2021. And indeed, this is the time when many soldiers had to desert because there was no longer any hope. We were in the process of collapsing. That's a bit how they work at the General Staff headquarters. In all army headquarters, in the schools, they are the ones who are supposed to dictate the policy of our army. They are the ones who tell us when to recruit, how to recruit, and what to do with them. They are in the schools to tell us how to train them, and so on. As long as these military advisors are there, you are not independent. Your army will just have the appearance of an army that is there to perform parades, a circus. But when war comes, you will realize that a parade is one thing, but war is another thing. You have to break the agreements. It's the only way to have an independent army and build strength. But many people do not understand this, perhaps. And even with these agreements, France selects from our state officer cadets to go and train them. It's through these same agreements. But in reality, these officers who go to train, for the most part for France, they come to serve the French state in their country. They do not come to serve our countries. They train them so that they come to serve the interests of the French state.
Do I look like someone afraid? The contract was given to Honorable Matthew Joe. Disappointingly, when the people came, the Indian consulate, along with the minister, came to visit the site, they were very disappointed on the way the money was spent. The other people came, they were not interested. The whole project was mismanaged.
It's another day, another time, another opportunity for the odds. Be it the good, the bad, the evil. God has given us another 24 hours. It is in your purview. And how are you going to utilize your 24 hours? A question to you: what have you to do with your 24 hours? If I may recommend to you, think positive. Do positive things and be that agent of positive change. Today is the 3rd day of the 6th month. The year remains the same. And this is your info breakfast companion, the Positve Show, where we exchange ideas for the common good of our beloved country and ourselves. As the saying goes, lazy head make a man poor, diligent hands bring him wealth. I'm pretty seated this morning, so energized. And I'm grateful to be counted amongst the living. If it wasn't for God on my side, some of us would have been today. In the maze of the circumstances, we look up to God for consolation, because trials come just to make us strong. In today's edition of the Positve Show, as usual, we bring you the flight surges from the Rebels International Airport, the vehicular traffic movement in Monrovia and its environs. We'll take you through update as it relates to the basic commodities, the exchange rates, to provide you some health tips. On the flip side, 9 o'clock, we'll be playing host to the former culture ambassador, now Commissioner General, EXPO 2025 Japan. She's going to be telling us a lot about this EXPO Japan 2025, where Liberia stands to benefit. These and many more. Talking about her initiatives, her love for country, and then we'll say goodbye on 10 o'clock on the program The Positve Show. My name is Rufus Divine Cunning. I lead and honor follow. First among equals. Of course, I'm destined for greatness. So get a pass of our team song when we come back. We roll our commercials and bring you the various segments. Welcome to the Positve Show.
If you want extra small money for the things that you're not expecting, let me tell you about Momo Loan. The fast and easy way to be free with money problem. Momo Loan, the new way of taking care of things when you not get money. The first thing you got to do is to register. Dial *156*5# and you will select extra cash. Hey man, that one, that easy credit there. Momo Loan, they're not just giving you money, oh, they are making you strong financially. Momo Loan, that your fallback position, that you're dependable. Go get it. Don't wait, oh, go register today and control your money power with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra money for the things that are important to you.
Hey dear, I guess you need a little extra cash for those unexpected expenses. Introducing Momo Loan, your quick and easy solution to financial freedom. Momo Loan is your cash flow, extra cash when you need it, offering users quick financial support for things that truly matters. It's simple. First, you gotta register. Just dial *156*5# start and select extra cash. And remember, with Momo Loan, we are not just giving you cash, we are empowering you with knowledge for a better financial future. Momo Loan is your cash flow, extra cash when you need it. Let's go. So don't wait. Get started today and take control of your finances with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra cash for the things that matter.
Okay, you can advertise your goods and services with us. Of course, we do it just right for you, like we do for others, right here on the Positve Show. So today is a wonderful day. It's kind of wet out there, so we're going to be bringing you some information relating to the weather condition. What's the weather condition today? We're going to be highlighting that as well. But basically, let's take you through the exchange rate from the Central Bank of Liberia as of Monday, and it still remains the same. The buying rates at the Central Bank of Liberia is 197.7, and the selling rate is 200.8. So that does it for the exchange rate on the Liberian market. The US dollar to that of the Liberian dollars. So wherever you are, know that um, this is what we do. We gave you insight of what is unfolding as it relates to our country and the basic commodities. We make sure to highlight them so that you be aware. Hmm? Yes, gasoline is sold for $790, and you get fuel for 850 Liberian dollars. Let's move on to the flash schedules there at the Roberts International Airport. This is one of the critical areas, you know, and I love this part of it so well. So let's bring you the flash schedules for today. Today's flash schedule, they are the Roberts International Airport. We have Ethiopia Airlines. Ethiopia Airlines flight ET3, that's flight ET932 from Conakry, Guinea. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 9:45 this morning. Our next flight is Air Peace, flight P47536 from Accra, Ghana. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 4:15 this afternoon. Aska Airlines, flight KP20 from Accra, Ghana. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 5:50 this evening. And lastly, for arrivals there at the Roberts International Airport, we have Brussels Airlines. Brussels Airlines flight SN245 from Freetown, Sierra Leone. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 7:50. So that does it for the arrivals there at the Roberts International Airport. Let's quickly bring you departures from the Roberts International Airport. Air Cote d'Ivoire HF755 that should have been flown to Conakry, Guinea from the Roberts International Airport, as stated, have been cancelled. Air Cote d'Ivoire flight HF755 should have departed the Roberts International Airport at 8 this morning, but according to flight radar 24, the flight has been cancelled. So we move on to our next flight. Ethiopia Airlines flight ET932 will depart the Roberts International Airport for Addis Ababa at 10:45 this morning. Air Peace flight P47536 will depart the Roberts International Airport at 4:55 this afternoon. And lastly, for departures from the Roberts International Airport, we have Brussels Airlines. Brussels Airlines flight SN245 will depart the Roberts International Airport at 9:10 for Brussels. And Air Peace departs the Roberts International Airport for Freetown, Sierra Leone at 4:55. So that does it for the flight schedules from the Roberts International Airport. Let's see if we can quickly bring you the weather report. Let's see if we can quickly bring you the weather update from the weather. Let's see if we can quickly bring you that. Let's see if we can quickly bring you that. So, according to the weather report, at this present moment, we have at the present moment the weather report for Liberia. Let's see if we can get it quickly. Where are we? We have oh my god, this thing should invade us. So the present weather condition for Liberia, we have 79 degrees Celsius. It's partly cloudy. Precipitation is 20%. Humidity is 86%. And the wind is blowing 6 meters per hour. The wind is blowing 6 meters per hour. So that does it for the weather update. And let's say good morning to you as you join us. Just leave your comments and we're going to highlight that. Linda B. Selma. Linda is one of our ardent followers. Linda have just joined us. We say good morning to you, Linda. Hope you're doing pretty fine. Now, let's take you to our vehicular traffic movement update. And I begin firstly by appreciating the Liberia National Police for the job well done. Thanks to the RG for his tireless efforts, the RG and his crew of senior officers as well as junior officers for tireless efforts in making sure that policing makes simple. You know, the police is the first hand of security, in our country. So if the police are not friendly, the police do not create the enabling environment that you, the citizens, can be very pleased to take issues to them, then who should we go to? But the Liberian National Police, and I can say this without fear nor favor, the Liberian National Police is one of the best in West Africa, if not the entire Africa. We have a very good policing unit. So we say thanks to the IG and his team, making sure that our guys are looking decent. Like I always emphasize on the issue of decency for our police officers, when they are, well dressed, like I continue to say, and I will say to all of the Zoom commanders, before the officers leave to go in the traffic or on duty to the various intersections and all the stuff like that, make sure that you call muster. Your terminology. So make sure you call the officers. You do some level of inspection. When the officers are inspected, make sure that they are well dressed. Decency pays. They say the way you dress is how people are going to address you. If you go in the field or you go on duty like one car bar, if you're going to put up an arrest, is how they're going to address it because you look like one car bar. So, but we see our police officers, they are trying their best, trying to make themselves look good, even though we also call on the RG and his team and our legislators to increase the budgetary allotment for the Liberian National Police so that they'll be able to provide at least 2 sets of uniform each to our officers. But while we continue the advocacy for you, the officers, we want you to at least, while they are washing your back, also wash your front. That means if you can get your little 1 or 2 cents, place it behind some decent cloth, sew your uniform, or they got a uniform already sew, prepare, buy 2-3 sets for yourself. It's not expensive. Buy uniform so that you don't wear one suit over and over and the blue tend to some kind of purple. No. So we are appealing to the RG and his team, the Justice Ministry, to see reason in at least providing uniforms, for our officers so that they look out there good, not just the ones that with the BB people. Then you see them dress up. No, all of the officers need to be looking good. Yeah, it will help to send out that message that the Liberia National Police is up for the task. We also want to say, please, because I've observed that some officers get intoxicated overnight and just go on job. It is wrong. If you know that you are intoxicated, please avoid duty for that day. You cannot go to carry on an arrest or to go perform your duty while you are intoxicated. And to you, the commanders, you must have this alcohol test. Make sure let them take that test before they go in the field. That's decency. You can have one officer very drunk, and then he go to carry on his duty. No, that is wrong. So please let us see reason in getting all of these things intact, so that the image of the police, as you continue to build that image, the lost image, let us get on par with other countries, Western, if you may, so that we appreciate you, the government and women of the Liberia National Police and all of the security apparatus around here. With that being said, the traffic, as usual, in the morning, all road leads towards town, and in the afternoon or evening hours, all road leads to the various destinations. We know our folks there on the Roberts International Airport Highway, especially when you cross entering Magibi, the road construction is still ongoing. It's fast approaching climax. So we appreciate the team, the Public Work Ministry, and foreign partners for the job well done so far. Please, we want to say to you drivers, we have entered the rainy season. The real rain now start falling, in our simple Liberian way. Please watch your speed limits. Please watch your speed limits. In school zones, make sure you drive at 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. At most 15. Okay, 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. And make sure to observe the hospital zones. You hung too much in this country. You hung too much in this country everywhere. Bing, 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 bam, bam, bam. No. We need to limit those things. And the number of sirens that we have all around here, we need to limit that. Yeah. We will check on those laws that goes along who should be plying the streets with siren around here. We'll bring that to you. And we want the police to implement that. Everyone wants to have some kind of siren. And it's disturbing. Yeah, it is actually disturbing. So with that being said, if you are coming from the Roberts International Airport Highway, headed towards Central Monrovia, when you get around the rehab area, all you need to do, if you want to have access to the deeper part of Painesville, most especially the red light area, we advise that you take your drive behind former President Weah's residence. And that road going to take you on to the route that leads to, how do you call that community? Not is a community, but around the GSA, that route passed by GSA, heading up to Duper Road. When you get at the Duper Road Market, just turn right. Just turn left. You're going to push forward to Duper Road Junction. And then you drive on your left, turn on your left, or you turn on your right to head towards the Zete community that will take you to Parkopin. Parkopin going to give you access to the entire red light belt, heading towards the Soul Clinic, heading towards the Kakata, heading towards the pub line, and you just name those areas. Likewise, those of you coming from the Kakata Highway, you can also access that route to go to the Roberts International Airport Highway. But if you want to have access to the ELW junction areas, you can drive through without traffic congestion. If you want to get towards central town, you need not to screen yourself to go to ELW junctions before you turn around and get in on the other end. No, you need not to do that. All you need to do is just take your drive. When you get around the SKD Sports Complex, there's a road right opposite the right to play field. That road is called the Marco Bakla Francis Road, Peloton. Peloton going to give you access for the Congo Time back road right behind the health ministry. You can drive through past the Ala Lagoon, the D Calabash, and head on to the back road intersection there where you have Spoon FM and getting on the main Tottenham Boulevard. If not, you can drive through SD Cooper Road and get to SD Cooper Junction. But I will advise that you shouldn't take that route because right there you have the traffic beginning. The traffic congestion begins at that point, and it heads as far as Boulevard Junction. Boulevard Junction builds up for the 540 areas. When you get around the 540 area, you're going to have a little relief. And passing the ministerial complex there, you're going to drive at least 15 to 20 kilometers per hour, upward to 30 kilometers per hour. As soon as you pass the zone 3, sometimes before you even pass the 540 area, it gets so congested. So what the police have put in a strategy that those that are heading towards town, they have 3 lanes, and those that are coming from town, they just use the opposite side, 1. And understand, some of you drivers, you violate these instructions. When you are instructed to use the routes, make sure to adhere to those instructions because the police officers know why they designed that detour or they designed that strategy so that it relieves the tension in the traffic. And please, drivers, when you are driving, please do not be on the phone. Some of you, you'll be on the phone, and probably while I was on my way, right around where the before reaching the Catholic Junction area there, as soon as you pass the Catholic Junction area, we saw an accident that occurred right around that area. So you see, the quota is wet. And we noticed that a lot of these vehicles in our country, the tires are not really up to date. The tires have wear out. So the quota is wet. So before you can even apply a brake, that car tire will drag before even the brake is applied. So make sure to avoid yourself getting into situations of such, because at the end of the day, your time will be wasted, resources will be spent in the process. Sometimes those accidents may cause casualty, human casualty. So we advise that you please avoid being on the phone while driving. Always drive with attention. As a driver, you are told that you are not driving for yourself, you are driving for you, the pedestrian, and the opposite driver or the next driver. So anything, you should be very attentive while doing your job. Okay? So the traffic builds up as far passing the Catholic Junction area, that take you as far as Vamuma. When you get around the Vamuma area, you still experience little congestion in the traffic. But this morning, while I was on my way between 6:45, 7 o'clock, I noticed that the traffic was not as tense. The congestion in the traffic was not as tense. But I don't know at this moment what is happening. But we hope that as our police officers continue to do their job in a respectable manner, we appreciate them. So you have experienced traffic along the entire Tottenham Boulevard nowadays. We have traffic congestion on the entire Tottenham Boulevard. So you must brace yourself. If you just come into Liberia, brace yourself for the traffic congestions to the various thematic areas that we've just named. And when you get to those areas, sometimes you will be instructed to have a detour, most especially when you are in a Cinco Bell. You have a detour towards the avenue, or sometimes when the traffic is not jammy, there's no congestion in the traffic, then you have you folks using the main Tottenham Boulevard. So you get as far as 9th Street. 9th Street is so tense, so it takes you as far as 1st Street. So all those areas are traffic prone. Now, for those of you coming from across the Bourgeois Island side, the Japanese freeway side, we want to give you an insight how to go about, what you need to do, what detour you need to take, so that you experience, not much traffic congestion in those thematic areas that we're going to highlight. So the Bourgeois Island people, most especially Simple Bridge people, you have access. If you want to go to Painesville, no need of you using the main route. Just drive through the Cowell. Cowell going to give you access to Deesville. Deesville will give you access to Kebab Bartonsville. Bartonsville going to give you access to Johnsonville. Johnsonville going to give you access to Pipeline. Pipeline going to give you access to the entire Painesville Belt, and you can even drive as far as entering the Mount Barkley area from the Johnsonville end. That's very simple. It's very, very easy without stress. Now, those of you from the Calcutta Highway, you can also access that end and take you to other parts of Gardnersville. You go as far as the Bourgeois Island areas. But if you are using the main route, know that you have some level of traffic congestion around the Douala area. We know that the police is actually doing extremely well to get the sellers from the shoulders of the road so that we have easy access. But yet still, we still experience little congestion in the traffic along those corridors. So you're driving through, wanting to use the main Freeport route. Before reaching the Freeport of Monrovia, know that you have container trucks coming from the port, and you have container trucks or those trucks going in the port. So your speed limit, watch your speed limit. We'll continue to tell you, watch your speed limit. All right? It is very important that we watch those speed limits. If you do not want to use the Freeport side, drive through Belema. Belema going to give you access to the Jamaica Road. When you get around the Jamaica Road area, drive up to the Stoughton Creek Bridge end and drive up towards the Freeport of Monrovia. As soon as you drive like a minute or two, look on your left, cross over. There's a road there giving you access to the Doe community. Doe community going to give you access to Claratown. Claratown going to give you access to Vartown. So you have passed the entire Freeport, main Freeport end, and you just bug out from the Vartown area. Very simple for us. So that's it for the traffic update. Hope we can do more than what we've done, and we'll continue to highlight these major developments. I said the last time, it is important that the city mayors take key note of those areas, those areas that the demolition exercise were carried out for the construction of the overhead bridge. And that falls in the purview of the mayor of Congo Town. The mayor of Congo Town. That falls in your purview. We know that the mayor of Monrovia assists you in the process, but it is your duty It is your responsibility to make sure that those areas that were demolished, people shouldn't use those areas for the throwing of garbage. Yes, I will continue to say, right around the 540 area, it is so pathetic that just where you have Kalondo building, right there, where the Lord Kelvin Bureau used to be, they have started to throw dye there, and it is so bad. That area is a very concentrated area. You have the ministerial complex right there. You have foreign friends all coming to those areas to transact. Then we have garbage, stockpile of garbage right in the open. So, Mr. Mayor of the city of Congo Town, we are appealing to you. Let me use this medium to call on you to make sure that you put into place the mechanism that those inhabitants of your township shouldn't use these areas that were demolished as garbage dumping site. Your area is highly concentrated. That area, you have a lot of institutions. You have 6 institutions right at the ministerial complex. And opposite that, you also have the maritime. You also have a lot of diplomatic missions in those corridors. But you sit there and allow the Congo town to look the way it is. Please, you are a very young man. You are very energetic. Put out a strategy. Every Saturday, let the folks, community dwellers, put themselves together. Make sure the young people in the community put themselves together and clean the community. Congo Town, the township is the smallest. You have Painesville, you have the Monrovia. Those are large areas. But you just right in the middle there between Painesville and, so you need to put your job is not that high. It's not as high as the Monrovia city mayor or the Painesville city mayor job. Yours is just a stone throw. You can put the mechanism in place that will help even the citizens of that area so themselves can appreciate the works of their hands. Congo Town cannot be looking at as it is now continuously. It's a very beautiful city. Before, when I talk about Congo Town, you hear the name, you know cleanliness. But nowadays, go Congo Town. You feel sad for yourself. Why you have to? Because the place is so messy. So we are calling on the mayor of Congo Town to do your best so that we continue to call on you, not because we hate you, but we want you to do the right thing. I, for one, I believe in seeing the young people doing the utmost best, because when a young man serves adequately, when a young man serves in a capacity or opportunity that have been afforded him, if he serves well, it gives the opening for other young people. We have complained time and time without measure. Oh, they don't want to give we the young people a chance. We the young people, we are capable, we can do this, we can do that. Yes, we know. But some of the young people that have been given the opportunity, they are misusing those opportunities. They are abusing it. So at the end result, the elderly people still not see you fit to handle those positions that they are holding. With that being said, let me just throw light on something that is happening. Let me firstly say, I strongly believe today, as Liberia goes to the elections, I should seek for a non-permanent seat at the United Nations. That is a done deal. It have already been approved and signed and stamped. We are just going for the formality because Liberia will definitely claim that position. So I'm not going to emphasize on that too much. Guys, no, I know for sure it is already done. Yes, because the feelings that I got, I've never felt that way when it comes to political activities. So Liberia is a beacon of hope for other African nations, and I believe other African nations will join hands to see Liberia once again taking that position. All right. So there are lots of things happening at the Monrovia City Corporation. The Monrovia City Corporation. And I want to chime on that a little. We galvanizing evidences. So the little we've gathered and we want to say in this public manner, Mr. Siafa, without due respect, I would say this issue that is now in hand or on hand, whatever it is, you must share the responsibility for all of the criticism that is coming. You know why? Because these things, that's why some people, as soon as things spark out, they make an alarm. We know professionalism is good, but in the wake of a terrain that is highly politicized, that is politically charged, that you hate, you must be cognizant that people in that gathering or people at that institution will do all they can to taint your records. You may have your own shortcomings, but amidst the challenging moments, we've seen progress. We know there are prospects and you've made gains. We notice that the corruption saga there at the institution, quote unquote, is politicized, highly politicized. It is highly politicized. For more indication, it is highly politicized. In Liberia, what we believe in, most of us, the queer mentality, when it is not me, it shouldn't be the next man. So we will do all we can to carry on some bad practices, because whatever happens, the head is being looked at. So I'm urging you to brace your courage to go through this time, go to whatever call to exonerate yourself from these allegations. To exonerate yourself from these allegations. That someone will say, this too shall come to pass. Knowing very well, very hardworking, very enthusiastic, very energetic, wanting to see things happening with the little meager resources to your disposal, but yet still, people in this country don't love to see good things happening. People don't love to see good things happening. So at the end of the day, people that are planted within the system will try to corrupt the system so that fingers can be pointed at you. So brace the stomach, encourage yourself, and go through whatever process so that you exonerate yourself from the claims and counterclaims. Let me say to officials of government, we know that you came on the mantra of development, you came on the mantra of the arrest agenda, the agenda of the president is so unique. But mind you, like we said, there are a lot of people who are so complicit. A lot of you who have been appointed by the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boaka Sr., you are so complicit nowadays. You feel that because you were appointed or you had some top-notch folks in the higher ups, you are untouchable. Let me say to you, do not be a bad apple or a bad seed planted to see the downfall of the leadership of His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boaka. I say this to say, most especially you, the young folks that have been appointed, those areas that you've been appointed to, your roles and responsibility, your level of work that you will do, we have the Liberian people gaining that confidence and courage once again in the leadership of His Excellency. But if you sit there and mind the pledge, ride the best of cards, and at the end of the day, when the time is drawing closer for elections, then you say you want to work, it will be too late. You have an example of the immediate past government, the flamboyant style of life, thinking that 6 years was everlasting. And I must say to you, it's just a drop in the ocean. The work you do will speak for you 2029. The work you do now will speak for you 2029. And I always want to lay emphasis on the information dissemination unit of this government. Information is as important as food, water, shelter, and medication. If the people are not getting the adequate and timely information that will serve as a dose to combat misinformation and disinformation, trust me, the guys on the other side are very sophisticated when it comes to propagating misinformation and disinformation. And that will be at the detriment of your lackadaisical attitude in providing adequate and timely information for the Liberian people. It is not all about the praises. We know there are lots of gains being made. Amidst the challenging moments, there are lots of gains being made. Are the Liberian people aware of the gains you've made? Or you are just seated and say, oh, yeah, but the people seeing it. There are a lot of people who are not aware of what is happening. There are a lot of people who are not aware of what this government is doing. in the interest of the citizens. So the press briefing is just one aspect. The regular press briefing, the media regular press briefing is one aspect. You and I know the medium through which you carry on your information dissemination at the time when you are out of leadership that have now enabled you to have the position that you now have. You went out in the trenches, you went out door to door with information that the people needed to hear. You have forgotten. And it's so soon, just 2 years. The people are not getting the information that they need to know. Leave the lavish kind of lifestyle and focus on the work of the Liberian people. They are your employer. If they sent you to do this job, or if you have been appointed to do this job, while doing the job, we know that all will not be rosy. You must be able to give updates. That's why you have people studying, monitoring, and evaluation, M&E. Put into play the M&E strategy so that the people can adequately be informed of the day-to-day activities of the government. The press briefing is not just auto 8. The talk show, what they call it, class reloaded, where you go, bulk of ministers, directors, you go. It is not auto 8. I continue to say, put into place the beneficiary communication strategy. Reach out to the people. Get to hear from the people what the issues are. And don't preempt. So yeah, we're doing our best, we're doing our best. No, you are not there to grade yourself. The people who are the beneficiary of what you do should be the ones speaking out. And one thing the past leadership failed to do, and I see you creeping in that direction, to accept their wrongs and right those wrongs for the betterment of their leadership. Criticism is good. You know why? Because it showcases your weaknesses. It outlines your challenges. And you, as a leader, you should have that listening ears. When the people criticize you, we know criticism in Liberia, most especially from the opposition, is always in the opposite direction. Whether you are doing a good thing, they will still criticize. But in the criticism, examine and say, look, this is something that, yes, though the manner and form, the spinning, the putting a spin on it, but the reality is there. We need to buckle up. We need to step out our game. And you work in that direction. So that's what I always say. The beneficial communication strategy is one of the best strategies that you should put into place now. It has been tested and it is proving to be one of the best strategies. That was applied during the EVD period with the Liberian Red Cross, where you had social mobilizers, you had communicators, you had entertainers, everyone forming a part of a team, reaching out to those beneficiaries. cataloging all of the information they provide, taking those information back to the aid provider, which is the government, for onward settlement. Some of the things that they will say, you look at the gravity of the situation. The ones that are hard to tackle at the moment, you go for the ones that can be settled immediately. And gradually, you start to approach the issues as they unfold. You give them the basic information. Reaching out to the public with the information. You have foot soldiers. Before the elections, you have foot soldiers all over the place. Oh, for Ambassador Joseph Newman Barker and Jeremiah Bankun. These people, they will change Liberia. Have you forgotten that strategy that you use? Now that you have the resources, now that you have the ability to reach even farther than where you have reached during the elections, I will say to you, we'll continue to say, if you cannot listen to the call of the Liberian people by giving them the information as timely as you can, if you wait for somebody to come up with some kind of spin on some issues before you come to serve as a reporter, I tell you no lie. One of the challenging moments when it comes to public relations, it is very costly. So to avoid the cost attached to rectifying or to clarify issues, feed the people with the information as it is. Timely information dissemination counts. It gave you gains. It put you at the right point where the people themselves will battle the misinformation as it comes. But if the people are not fed with the information in a timely form and manner, and somebody from the opposite side comes with information that is actually resemble to what is unfolding, they will believe what the people say because they are the ones who have come with the information first. And in Liberia, the country is so gullible. You will carry the information first that you, the people, can believe. So now, understand that the government is at a point where you have a lot of energetic young men and women who have been appointed in various positions. They have their followers. They have their followers. They have their following. Use these individuals, town hall meetings, symposiums, visit the market women, visit the market buildings, put up all of the major works, you see. It was so funny. Little did the past regime know that strategy was the best strategy to use. It was so late for them before they got to know that they should have printed all of the, the major work that government was doing at the time, making sure to enlighten the minds of the people what government have been doing. They failed to do that. It was at the dying minute where injury time they not get. They say, okay, 3 minute injury time. Then they put all the catalog, all of the information, all of the Google thing the government was doing. Oh, government help through the government we were able to build the how you call it, the maritime office. We're able to build the invincible park, the PHP park. That was too late. That was too late. It was too late for them. Because information is very important. Timely information, not just any other information. Timely information. And one thing, most of the public relations officers fail to realize, be a public relation person, you are not there to tell lies. That's not good public relation. You are not there to tell lies. The reality is there, it's visible. Your job is to mitigate. Your job is to make the people understand, even if it is at the worst point, to make the people understand, convince them why this is happening. And what are those measures you put in place to curtail the reoccurrence of what they have experienced? Then you gain the trust and confidence of the people. But if you sit there and say, oh, they think that people are talking a lie, you want to sugarcoat or pour all kind of spin on it to say you're coming in defense. One thing that I hold so constant and I have come to realize, when trust is taken, you cannot regain that trust again. So in order for you to have the people on that same pace from the elections onto your inauguration, and as we go through your leadership, the turning of your leadership, you must be truthful to them. Truth telling is one of the keys to public relations. Not because you're a public relation person, you must lie. No. You must be very strategic in how to handle the information. And in this dispensation where you have the proliferation of media institutions that are not even playing their role, but they have become a tool for propagating misinformation and disinformation, you are at the center point where you can put all of those strategies that we are talking about. Timely information, listening to the call of the people, admitting to your wrongs, and righting them for the betterment of the public and your leadership. It will make a mark for you that you will be able to have the Liberian people giving you another opportunity in 2029. Says yeah, that whole thing says yeah, just right here. So if you are placed at the position to serve the people, know that a leader is a servant. A lot of you have put yourself first and have forgotten the people and the promises that you made to them. Some of you, when you needed the power, you had your shorts, your boots, you wore them, you were walking all in the places with them. You build that network with them. Now that you have the power, you have turned your back, you have broken that chain. And I can still recall when the election results were being announced and former President Weah conceded his sermon at his church that day, he said, most of you here, all of you that are sitting under my voice, you are the cause of the results that we have now. And he went on explaining in detail. He said, some of you were nobody. You were with the people in the communities. When you got appointed, you got cars, you put tinted windshields, you build your fence high to your rooftop. Even the light beam from your house could not come in the community. You no longer had access, the people no longer had access to you. the results, the votes that we got, it was because of me. I'm quoting verbatim. It was because of me and the work I've done over the period of time before even coming to the presidency, and the love the people got for me. Because of your bad attitudes with them, we have conceded. Go back to the tape. It is there. If Facebook weren't deleting tapes, I would have played that for you. So it is on you, the leadership of now. Forget the flamboyant style of life and focus on the work of the Liberian people. Because at the final analysis, these are the same people you run out to give you a second chance. And these people, they are not fools. They follow up on the daily activities. That's why you see, during the elections, people who were in government, who were all there prim and proper, as someone would say, when the time came for campaign, they put all the bigoted down and started going to the trenches to talk to the people. The people play them like football because the trust and confidence they had in them have lost. So that's why we always say the message and the messenger. Who are those carrying the message? And what kind of message are they carrying? The message and the messenger. The message may be good, but the person who's carrying the message is not the rightful person. Now is the time. You still have a lot of time in your favor. Right now, some of you, people have lost confidence in you. They are even calling on the president to make decisions because the trust and confidence they had in you have lost. And we want to say to you, Mr. President, as you and your entourage seek the non-permanent seat there at the United Nations, we wish you all the best. And that Liberia will once again shine amongst the communities of nations. And we want you to give listening ears to the people. Take up the time. Practice the style of former president, the late President Doe. Visit the ministries and agencies unannounced as early as you can. Go and see the works of those who you have appointed. Visit the ministries unannounced. Say, okay, I'm working for the ministry here today, and see how they operate. There are a lot of people in this country who work at the means of R7. Yeah, when you're around the other, they are working. When you turn your back, I'll go to have it 10 o'clock, I'll go to have it 12 o'clock. Visit these areas, Mr. President, and see the works of your ministers, your directors, and you will know and you will determine as to whether the Liberian people still have that trust and confidence in your government. So with that being said, we're going to open the lines few minutes so that you call and tell us what's happening in the community and those things that you have on your chest on the national scene you want to talk about. On the flip side, 9 o'clock, we hope to play host to Ambassador JULI ENDEE. She's the Commissioner General for the EXPO Osaka, Japan 2025. She's going to be explaining to us in detail the benefits of Liberia involvement into this process, this auspicious occasion, yeah. So, but ENDEE will be here. So let's get a brief out while we await your calls on 0887 105 105, 0778 665 073. 0778 665 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call. Let's get something from an ambassador, a cultural ambassador, former cultural ambassador, Queen JULI ENDEE. It's called Grace. So both of your calls on 0887 105 105, 0778 665 073.
Friendship turns ugly, no trust. The process of rejection. Turning from us when those who fight for are the same ones who stand and fight against you. Oh no. You are a lawyer in the courtroom. You are the window, my tears of blood. Your grace is sufficient. You are a lawyer in the courtroom. You are the window, my tears, your grace is sufficient. Only God can be great. Oh, my day. Oh, God can be great. Nah, day. Yeah, oh, my day. Mighty God can be great. No compassion against me shall prosper. My peace for when I speak. His power moves. There's a bit of praise to answer. Enemies become like grass upon the marches under my feet. You are the Lord in the courtroom. You are the window, my tears of God. Your grace is sufficient. You are the Lord in the courtroom. You are the window, my tears. Your grace is sufficient. Only God can be great. Oh, God can be great. Now, oh, God can be great. Mighty God can be great. Even though I don't deserve it, everything is possible, Lord. Yeah. I say, even though I don't deserve it, everything is possible today. Oh. Even though I don't deserve it, everything is working for my everything is working for my good. I said, even though I don't deserve it, everything is working for my good. Working for my good. Yeah. Only God can be great. Better, better. Julie, my testimony. Friendship turns ugly, no trust. Surprises of rejection. Turning from us when those who fight for are the same ones who stand and fight against you. Oh no. You are the lawyer in the courtroom. You are the window, my tears of blood. Your grace is sufficient. You are the lawyer in the courtroom. You are the window, my tears. Your grace is sufficient. Only God can be great. Oh, oh. My God, praise. No profession that gives me shall prosper. My peace for when I speak his powers. There's a man to praise. Let's become like grass upon the arches under my feet. You are the Lord in the courtroom. You are the way, my tears of God. Your grace is sufficient. You are the courtroom. You are the way, my tears. Your grace is sufficient. Only God give me grace. Oh God, give me grace. Oh God, give me grace. My God, give me even though I don't deserve it. Better. Julie ENDEE, my testimony. Friendship turns ugly, no trust. The process of rejection. Confidence turning from us when those who fight for are the same ones who stand and fight against you. Oh no. You are the lawyer in the courtroom. You are the window, my tears, Lord. Your grace is sufficient. You are the lawyer in the courtroom.
Oh yes, His grace is sufficient. A wonderful piece there by Queen JULI ENDEE. We told you this morning she's going to be our guest. The most interesting thing here, after 15 years, our first interaction was in 2010. We interviewed her. I mean, it's so divine. I must tell you this. Let me just give you a little history city. I was proud to the Judah 26. She came up with an album with Flavor, the rest of the team, and she needed promotion. And that same old studio, we had the time to share an interview, share the platform, and today we are in June, and the former ambassador is here. But let me give you some basic information about this daughter of the land. Her early life and cultural roots. She's just not an ordinary person. JULI ENDEE is a permanent figure in Liberia culture, known for her work as a musician, advocate. She's our former cultural ambassador. When she held the cultural ambassador post, Madam ENDEE was actually born to Liberian parents in Fastone, Makibi County. Indeed, she's a Liberian. Get to know this. She's a native of Nimba County. She was credited her mother's home county, Bon County, for her cultural and traditional upbringing. She began her journey in the arts as a dancer at the age of 3. JULI ENDEE served as Liberia's cultural ambassador, a title conferred upon her in 1995 by the Liberian government and people. She was also crowned and named traditional queen of Liberia in 2020. So yeah, queen, not just because people will say, by the elders, chiefs, and those of Liberia. It's important to note that, according to ENDEE, the title of cultural ambassador was bestowed upon her and is not a government appointment with a budget or staff. She said that time, she stated that she continued to promote the image of Liberia through cultural and using culture as a medium of communication. Let me outline some of her contribution and achievements. Throughout her career, Julie ENDEE has been recognized for her contribution to Liberian culture and society. She has received 31 awards, both locally and internationally, produced 12 albums, numerous singles, and created over 400 jingles related to health, peace, women's rights, and children's rights. She played a key role galvanizing support for Liberian artists and promoting peace in Liberia. She was also UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador for her contribution to the well-being of children in sub-Saharan Africa. ENDEE is the founder and executive director of the Liberia Crusader for Peace, a non-governmental organization. In 2024, President Joseph M. Boakai appointed Kekula M. Kamara as Liberia's new arts and culture ambassador, replacing Julie ENDEE. But now understand, notably, ENDEE has also gained international recognitions, including performing in China in 2008, where she was embraced by Chinese people. She has a promoter in China and has expressed interest in bridging cultural gaps between Liberia and China through their respective cultures. ENDEE has been involved in various initiatives, including leading a successful campaign for polio immunization in Liberia. She led the country being declared polio-free. She has also been honored by the United Nations for her work in promoting peace, gender equity, and Liberia culture. At the moment, Queen Julie ENDEE is the Commissioner General, EXPO Osaka, Japan 2025. She's going to be telling us more what Liberia stands to benefit from this great initiative. The bass of the song, when we come back, we'll be talking to the Queen herself. Welcome to the Positve Show.
Fresh turns ugly, no trust. The prices of rejection. Turning from us when those who fight for are the same ones who stand and fight against you. Oh, no. You are my lawyer in the courtroom. You are the winner, my tears of blood. Your grace is sufficient. You are my lawyer in the courtroom. You are the winner, my tears, your grace is sufficient.
Oh yes, only God gave me grace. There's no mate in grace. Oh yeah. So it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful moment at this point in time with no time to waste. The Queen is here. You know what it means? I salute you, Queen.
Thank you.
Okay, it's wonderful. Okay, so I said hi, I've been with you.
Well, I'm grateful to the Almighty God. I gave him all the glory. His name is worthy to be praised. And my life is full of grace, and my grace is prevenient. So I thank my late parents, and then of all thanks my siblings and all my family members and the Liberia Crusaders for Peace family, my family in the media, my family in the Musicians Union, and all other union that make up the collective society that I've helped to make my life better. And to the people of Liberia, I say thank you. And I'm just grateful. And this journey would have not been this on this path without the support of a great political will from His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, through different line ministries such as Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Commerce and Trade. And I think it has been very wonderful for me. And of course, the support that I gather from the Monrovia City Corporation, the mayor himself, his support towards my work, and the National Investment Commission, the Liberian Business Association, the Chamber of Commerce, Women Voices, and of course, Wangoso, which is the Women NGO Secretariat. I also gathered support from the U.S. Embassy, and my support go a long way from the U.S. And Jimmy Carter, former president of the United States of America, the Carter Center, and the United Nations and ECOWAS, other friendly governments like the European Union, Sweden, the Embassy of Sweden. These are the people that have really made my work so easy. So I'm grateful to God, but I also appreciate it, and I say thanks so much.
Okay, this distraction, however, we are grateful to have you. It's always good to have people of your kind talking to us and enlightening the minds of the younger ones who are growing up without the knowledge of culture, most especially in the Liberian culture. You play a pivotal role in this country. You're no stranger everywhere you go. And then Judy, Queen Judy, and, people know you for your cultural, energy. As old her age, she still do the leg shaking and thing. So how is life outside of the cultural ambassadorial position and interacting with international partners? How is it with you?
Well, let me just come up today and I want to speak to this. If culture is the way of life of the people, then of course it's who you are. So you cannot take that away from anybody. So it is something that I grew up with. I was born with it. My grandmother, the late Bese Bingwebua Tucker, was a great woman. And of course, Mahawa Newman Tucker was a great woman. And if you go back to my village in Konola, there's a village near it called Konokole. And so this is who I am. So you cannot take that away from me. I started believing in my culture, appreciating it, knowing who I am, what I stand for, who I want to be before I was given an honor. And that honor was bestowed upon me by the Liberian people as a goodwill ambassador for culture for the Republic of Liberia. And I was able to serve in a direction. So anyone else that is being named is just a deactivation of being active in government functionaries, but it doesn't stop me from. I'm still an artist. I started dancing at an early age, singing. So, in every part of me, and there are different kinds of culture. There's also political culture. There's cultural diplomacy. There's economic diplomacy. So all of these things put together make up a great. That's why we have a diverse culture and it's a legacy to celebrate. So how do we celebrate in this Afrocentric period? Our culture is to use it as a medium to communicate to the outside world. And that's what has helped me a lot to cross over and do a lot of cross national initiative, and it has been very helpful. So I employ the people of Liberia. I understand because of misinformation, they didn't understand, they thought that overstayed, because an honor bestowed upon you cannot be taken away from you. So I did not overstay, but again, I cannot question what God wants to put you. And so I let it go and I've moved forward. And the president have appointed me as Commissioner General to continue the Japan Expo and then, of course, Expo in Serbia.
So well, we're coming. We coming there. We coming there. So now, with all that being said, your work speaks for you.
Yeah.
It need no detailed explanation because you one person. Well, some of us were growing up.
Yeah.
We open our eyes on Auntie Judy.
Yeah.
And now we have the opportunity to sit in one room to interview her.
Yeah.
Going back on those things that she has done and continue to do for the Liberian people.
Yeah.
With that being said, Expo Osaka, Japan 2025. Where are we? Where Liberia stands and what we stand to benefit.
Okay, thank you so much. Liberia is in compliance. We've signed. We have agreed, first of all, with a diplomatic note that we will participate in Expo 2025 Osaka. So the first thing we did was to register Liberia. So Liberia is now registered as an official participant of the Expo. Now, we've started the process of looking at what we need to use as a showcase base for our Expo. So during this exhibition, what Liberia want to showcase. So we are actually showcasing the arrest agenda, which is the president's vision, on agriculture, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation, tourism. But then because this expo is geared toward the SDGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals, so it is important to align it with gender equality, trade, and investment opportunities, because the president spoke and he said Liberia is open for business. So if Liberia is open for business, it means that Liberians who are doing small, medium enterprises have a level playing field to go on the world stage to attract business, business levels or management or investors or business partners to come and partner with them to take their business at another level. So you can't just be at level 1 and level 1. You need to go to level 2, level 3. And then investors have Liberia. We think that Liberia is virgin in so many ways. They are so, like in our tourism sector, businesses need to tap into our tourism sector. So we want to invite big investors to come to Liberia to be able to invest in Liberia, because the investment opportunities that's available for investor is to bring in the development of our people, whether it is development of the mind. Now you're looking at STEM, you're looking at science, you're looking at technology, you're looking at engineering, you're looking at mathematics. Those are areas where is dominated by men. So we are encouraging young women to be able to participate. So we were able to negotiate with a team in Japan that is really focused on STEM, so that our women during the International Women's Forum, we can discuss that and women can have interest in getting involved into the Stand campaign. And so what we have done, Liberia for the first time, because I know Liberia started participating in EXPO during the EXPO in Shanghai. But since we started going to EXPO, then EXPO in China, EXPO in Milan, EXPO in Qatar, EXPO in Dubai, now EXPO in Japan, Liberia in this expo has been elected through an electoral college to be on the International Steering Committee of World Expositions. And I think you might not like JULI ENDEE, but it is not about me. It's about Liberia. So when you hear that Liberia was elected to an electoral college, I'm just a messenger that was there. But at least we are on that decision-making table, and Liberia can make decisions. And when the election took place, I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, Liberia has been elected. 26 countries out of 180 plus countries. Liberia has been elected, but I didn't know it was a piece of job. You have to go to steering committee meeting, make decisions when there's ever issues within the expo. That decision is made by the BIE, which is the steering committee now. They're working strictly with the BIE. The BIE is the Bureau of International Expositions in Paris. So they, the one that gave accreditation for countries that host expos all over the world.
So now, at this point in time, a lot of Liberians are now already exposed to this. So your office, what are those plans you've put in place to promote this initiative or this whole Expo 2025 and onward?
To be honest with you, if the records are there, you need to check it. Some of the expos we've had have never had publicity compared to Expo 2025 Osaka. It haven't been a people involved kind of expo. This expo is about the people. We want the people to take advantage of it. Even if 2,000 people from Liberia go to the expo in Japan, fine. We want businesses to go. You know, sometimes we like to play. Our dreams are very short and small. But Her Excellency, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf once told me, say, Julie, if your dream is not bigger than you, then you're not dreaming at all. I took that word to the back of my head and I always remembered it. If you have a small business and you want to excel in this business, the way to go is at the Expo 2025, where we're going to have business forum B2B, and then you can exchange ideas. Ideas, that's what they call money. Ideas and money. If you have an idea on paper, but you don't have the financial capital, you can now use your idea, write your ideas on paper, take it to a B2B, an investment forum or a business forum, and then you can share your ideas with people who have interest in your idea. They will now bring the money that would invest in your ideas. You understand what I'm saying? So we are encouraging small, medium enterprises, because sometimes we ask government for subsidy. So the Liberian Business Association is asking the government of Liberia for subsidy to carry 200 business entrepreneurs to Japan. And then, of course, that's business. So right now, we need to invest in the private sector. As you listen to the president, he said the private sector is the way to go. We are not saying that do not invest in public sector, but invest in the private sector. You are journalists. Okay, there are certain journalists that are freelance journalists. Don't you want to open your own business, media house? It doesn't have to be radio station and all of that. You can open a media house that can talk about, the positive things about Liberia. You can brand, you can rebrand, you can talk about it, you can think faster. And we call that the thinking faculty. You can open a studio. How do you do that? You have to put ideas on paper and take it far and wide to be able to share the ideas with others. Then they will look at your plan and invest into your plan. So then you start to manage your business. The next thing you know, from small, medium enterprises, you're now going to big, medium-sized businesses, medium businesses, and you go to bigger businesses, and then you can showcase, because you are going to employ Liberians. You are also going to engage youth. So it is very important to really tap into Expo, because we've opened the Expo. We have an office on Capital Bypass. You want to go, you fill up your form, and we help you get
I was just about to get to that point,
Yeah.
because it has to do with understanding the process before
Yeah.
venturing
Exactly.
and taking the advantage of whatever that comes.
Yes.
Now, so how do one get to this whole issue that has to do with the expo?
Okay, the expo is actually the lead of the expo is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
And then the National Investment Commission. Then you have the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. You have other line ministry like education, gender, and all these because it's the arrest agenda. So just look at the arrest agenda. If you talk A, it's agriculture. So this is the Ministry of Agriculture. If you talk roads, it's public works. You understand what I'm saying? So if you talk about the rule of law, you talk about justice. Then if you talk about then you talk about women's rights, then you talk gender. If you talk about trade and investment, the NIC and commerce, then you talk about health, the Ministry of Health. So tourism, of course, is the Ministry of Information. Then if you talk about sanitation, it's the Monrovia City Corporation. So all these people are on board. And then, of course, the shipment from the port and then decommissioning and commissioning as the National Port Authority. So we've reached out to all these people. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs have called a series of meetings. They've committed themselves to come and be there. I just want to remind them by their 1-minute video. And we are also talking about our resources. So we got lands and mines. So they are going to be showcasing our minerals. We're going to talk about our gold and our diamonds, what is important and the importance of it and what we have here, where people can invest in all of that. So we have the investment package. It's in our pavilion. When you get to our pavilion in Osaka, we gave you the investment package. So you know exactly what the investment climate look like in Liberia. Now, the Liberian Business Association is registering those who will go to Osaka under the Liberian Business Association. That's why they're asking government for subsidy to be able to subsidize the ticket. We also arranged with the Ethiopian Airlines to give discount to those traveling by Ethiopian Airlines. Now, to process your visa, when you get to Ghana, maybe you never traveled before. We have agents on the ground that will launch you, take you to the embassy, and you get your visa process and before you come. So we write for your visa and then you get your visa. All the people we've written for to get visa, they've gotten visa. Some are in Osaka as I speak to you now. Some been to Osaka and back, and they're going to go again. So then you can now start, you got to build yourself at the level. Everything can be government. It's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So your businesses will pay taxes to the Liberian government, and based on those taxes paid, we have quality education, good health, and all of that.
So as a journalist, a head of a media institution, and I want to have the experience. What can I do to form part of this whole thing?
You can go two ways. You go to the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism and get your accreditation. Bring your accreditation on the Capital Bypass and say, I'm a journalist. I want to go to Osaka. Then we can now fill up your form, give you do the process, and you go to Ghana, you get a visa, and you experience that whole meager stuff that is going to be taking place. I'm telling you, Liberia is as small as you will think we are, and which I think we're not small. We are the land of the brave and free. Liberia is shining at the expo. I personally, that's why I thank God that I'm not a playback, musician. Because when I went, I met one of the best band of Japan. It's called the Jellyfish Band. And they knew I was a musician, even though I'm commissioner general. And they asked me for my music. I sent my music to them. And I was able to perform with the Jellyfish Band in Osaka. From the day I performed, they've lined me up with gigs throughout the entire expo. But I told them I have to go back home to prepare myself to come back because I have other businesses to attend to. But I'm saying this to you, you have to open. Life is about growing. You can't just remain at one level over and over. So we need to you need to grow. You need to impact other people's lives because your life was impacted. So you can't go as a journalist. You need to go to the Ministry of Information first.
So the common people, say, I got my little money, I do my little business as a entrepreneur. I want to have the experience. Is it the same way Where do
If you are registered, excuse me, if you're registered with the Liberian Business Association, you go through their route. If you want to register with the EXPO team, then you go on the bypass. That will help you. We go keep you through the process. If you're not a member of any of these organizations, for example, if you're a woman and you want to go in and experience the expo and all of that, you go through WANGUSO, which is the Women NGO Secretariat. So if you're an artist and you want to go through the expo team, you come to the expo team. If you want to go to the Ministry of Information, you go. The Ministry of Information have seconded the expo, the people that will perform at the expo. We have that list. We're processing. I think we've gotten like about 10 of the visas for them already. So now the first person that will perform for Liberia is Ambassador Miata Famule. So Ambassador Miata Famule will, because she's a live performer and she's the diva, you got to give it to Auntie Miata. Since Miata was on stage before I came as a little rat, you understand? So I gave her that credit, I gave her that due, and I know that Sis Miata will deliver in Osaka. So she will be performing live in Osaka. There are other artists that will be performing, but I don't want to mention their name because you have to do a process before you can start calling names of artists. But since Miata has been processed and she's going to be live alongside me in Osaka, Japan for that performance. And I'm telling you that we are hosting the International Women's Forum in Osaka. And we want to bring in speakers from Liberia. And we have lined up all the female speakers that will be speaking. We are also bringing speakers from all over the world. And that's why we are bringing the chief, the high chief of Nigeria, the daughter of President Tinubu, to Osaka. She will be speaking. And then we are also bringing the vice president of the university in Vietnam. She'll be speaking. We are bringing women from high-profile women from China, from the United States of America, from Canada. They will be speaking. I'm leaning these because these are confirmed people that will be speaking at the event. We are also bringing the Harper Awards president in Hollywood. She will be speaking at the International Women's Forum. This is to bridge the gaps. Our brothers are dead, but we're not singing the song, no longer women in the back and the men in the front, but together we walk side by side. So we are complementing the men, still taking our tradition and culture and respecting our brothers. So we will be talking about Beijing +1, what happened in Beijing, and what have taken place from Beijing till now. We'll talk about gender equality, sexual exploitation, and abuse. The theme and the slogan is lift her voice. And that it's the thing. And that space will be covered by women. We are also encouraging he for she to be in the room as the women will be speaking boldly to what it is to say we are sensitive in terms of gender. Now, their Liberia National Day will be on the 26th, where the Prime Minister of Japan and the President of Liberia will engage and speak and talk about, the relationship between Japan and Liberia, and where the president is taking Liberia as far as the arrest agenda. And we are using their slogan very cleverly in Japan, and is resonating, is think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. And that is moving. So everyone, I'm telling you, the goodwill for the president in Japan is just awesome. I can't say more than that, because the foreign minister have been briefed by protocol, and the foreign minister have spoken to the president on all the goodwills that have happened. Scholarships for government has gone through. We've been there. We've crossed it. The ambassador of China and I met in Vietnam, where we went to different universities and different investors and all of that. We have an investor that have signed in. We have an investor that have registered a company here that is going to open banks, open factories and different things here. The president have met that investor, and all these have gone through. I just happen to be a focal person of that investor in Liberia. So Liberia is moving faster, and the goodwill is there, and we look forward to. And Liberia is also participating in the horticulture in Japan. And during the horticulture in Japan, there's an investor that will do something for Liberia that has never happened. So Liberia is moving from that stage. How do you credit it to culture? Yes, because it's through the culture that we interpret, through the culture we engage, through the culture it shows our values and all of that. So right now, the Minister of Foreign Affairs is dealing with economic and cultural diplomacy. I ain't talking about dancing and singing all over the place now. That's not what I'm not, or drama. I'm talking about economic and political culture. That economic culture that brings grace and investment to our people. That political culture that gave the political will to the investor to know that Liberia is a level playing field, that the investors will come, they will be protected on the grounds, and then the investor will also know that there are laws governing the people of Liberia, and the laws of Liberia must be respected. So that's what we are.
Liberia is reaching culture. You've been in that corridor for quite a long time, and looking at the generation right now. We are in the Zen generation where the young people are not really welcome with our culture. Someone asked the question: does Liberia have a culture?
Well, before I answer the children about the culture, let me go back to the question. Whoever asked that question is inept. Whether your culture is being promoted, everybody, even the United States, the great United States, have culture. The word, it is that medium that shows them who they are, is their culture. Even though ours is diverse, you see what you're wearing? You are promoting what you were wearing. That's part of your culture. The clothing, you are eating cassava leaf, potato green, topogi, GB, which the Nima people call geiba, beikbo. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's our culture. So we have it. Then you talk about our music, our folklore, and different things. The way we talk, our languaging, it's our culture. Then we talk about these symbols that represent us, like the coconut tree, the wheelbarrow, and all these different things, the seal, and all these things. We have a unique and a very beautiful culture. Before we started putting the mask on the wall to beautify our homes and our museums and our offices, it was used as our passport because we didn't have a biometric passport. So the identification of you leaving Lofa, crossing into Salaye, and coming into Bon County before you go to Yangwali or you go to Sanoye, all this, you needed that mask. That mask was your identity to cross over. That mask is our passport. So we have culture, and our culture is rich. Imagine if you hear a Bassa man singing and a Pele man singing and a Vai and Gula and Gribu and Kran, and you blend that together, we have a very unique culture. The way we speak, nobody can copy us. The Sierra Leoneans, if they're speaking, and then the Ghanaians and Nigerian, you have to listen keenly to know whether this person is Ghanaian or this person is Nigerian. But by the time you hear Liberian person, I beg you, yeah, that thing where you're talking about, don't bring it to me, man. Whoever to say that one, will make us look very proud. You understand? And what we speak here and we call colloquia, the lingua franca of Liberia is unique to us. And that's what we should promote. And I think it's not just about dancing and singing and little things, going collecting money here, there, It's leaving a legacy and a footprint for people to follow. People don't understand sometimes, like 200 bicentennial. When we were 100 years old, the president, through his team, built the Centennial Pavilion. That's why it's called Centennial. 200 years, our bicentennial. Where is the bicentennial? It's what I was putting on the Providence Island. For that bicentennial legacy, so that tomorrow our children, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren can say our bicentennial was celebrated in this fashion, in this form. And at the end of that, you will see Joseph Yuma Boakai standing up with the with the light down and lifting Liberia out of poverty. That's the message that you see there. And if you go there, you will see the president, Totman, with all the women to the centennial. Have you seen that? Historically, follow it. That's what happened when we were 100 years old. It will always remain there. I was not born, you were not born. Nobody in this room were there. But we go to the centennial and we read this story. So you must leave. We have to tell our story. And I hear people say, Ghana is the land of return. No, Ghana is not the land of return. If the Liberian people gave me the opportunity, I would educate people on that. Ghana is not the land of return.
Can you elaborate?
Ghana is the land of exit. We are the land of return. We are the land of the brave and free. The people that arrived on the Providence Island, the historic Providence Island, they arrived. Not free slaves. Because when you free, you're not slave. Free blacks from Virginia, from all over the diaspora, arrived on the Providence Island. They left and they arrived. When they went to the Gold Coast, they were opening now to go. So they are not the land of return. We are the land of return. And we must tell our story. And I wanted to tell the Liberian government, when you go to Ethiopia, you see all the different places that you see in Ethiopia. And you see the African Union. You will see in Kwame Nkrumah picture. Where is the picture of President Totman? Why can we showcase that picture, that picturing of President Totman? That's what I'm showcasing Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Because you might not understand it. I don't care in radio land how you people feel. But Madam Sirleaf is an icon. Madam Sirleaf is the first democratically elected president on this African continent. You might not like her. You might like her. Let's tell our story. From Foya Wasonga to the executive mansion, it's a story to tell. So our story in Japan is a story that we are telling.
Very rich story.
Very rich story. From a footballer to president, we've made history. We are unique in our own way. We must tell our story. No one can tell that story for us. We must tell our story. And that story must be told. And it can be told through culture. And that's why the Minister of Information now, JULI McPeer, is working on that whole Ministry of Information. Our diversity, our culture is dynamic. It's a story. You see from the beginning all the way to the last floor. It's a story he is telling. So let's tell our story. Our story is unique. We go to the UN General Assembly. Angie Brooks Randall. We made history. Totman, in Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré. What is the story that we are telling? Let's tell our story. So when a platform is given to you, you select a story. For Osaka's story is more of the arrest agenda. But for other stories that we are telling at different locations and different platforms, like I celebrated ECOWAS, I don't talk about ECOWAS without measuring Liberia. Because without Liberia, there will be no ECOWAS. And I'm a proud Black Liberian woman. So I speak boldly.
You are a walking encyclopedia when it comes to the culture of Liberia. Have you any plan to reduce that into writing?
Yes. I have people that are writing a book about me. And I also have my own that I have in my library. I have a lot of story. I have a story on the first soldier to disarm during the disarmament process, disarmed to me, my work with ECOMOG, my work with all Gabriel Oyekbele, A1 Mohammed, which I don't think you remember, said they were here serving, and my visit with Brutus Gali. You don't remember that? My interactions with George W. Bush, my interactions with Madeleine Albright, the former Secretary of State, and then my interactions with the National Institute of Health in the United States of America, where I was given the gold coin. All these things has been written. And then, of course, Jimmy Carter, when I met Jimmy Carter face to face and Mrs. Carter at the Carter Center. And if you go to the Carter Center, you will see an area where gifts that I gave to President Jimmy Carter is being put there in the museum. So, and then, of course, my interaction with Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton. And then I'm a little girl from a village. I was born in Firestone. I grew up in Konola, went to school, Quending Vocational Training Center. So you see, I'm a country girl. A country girl that I've come a long way. And then, of course, if you come here, my interactions with President Olusegun Obasanjo, my performance with the African heads of states, where every African head of state, economic community or West African state, sitting down and I'm performing. That video is deep. It's deep. And I don't know any African artist. So I bless God.
Before we take our break, this question, what is the secret behind your smile? For every time you are saying, you wear a smile. What's the secret?
Grace. Prevenient grace from God. Parents' blessings. Parental blessings and prevenient grace from God. Keeps me going.
She's Queen Julie ENDEE, of course, the Commissioner General of EXPO Osaka, Japan 2025, having breakfast with us here on the program, The Positve Show on Love FM 105.1. You out there, let's get this brief out. When we come back, we'll open the lines. If you want to ask questions that we haven't asked yet, you can also do so. But let's get the song Grace by Queen Julie ENDEE.
Something better from the Lord. Better. Julie ENDEE, my testimony. Friendship turns ugly, no trust. Surprises of rejection. Confidence turning from us when those who fight for are the same ones who stand and fight against you. Oh, you are my lawyer in the courtroom. You are the winner, my tears of blood. Your grace is sufficient. You are my lawyer in the courtroom. You are the winner, my tears, your grace is sufficient. Only God can be praised. Oh, oh, God can be praised. Now, my God, no passion against me shall prosper. My peace go when I speak his powers. There's a man to praise the answer. Let's become like grass upon the arches under my feet. You are my Lord in the courtroom. You are the winner, my chance of God. Your grace is sufficient. You are my Lord in the courtroom. You are the winner, my chance. Your grace is sufficient. Only God can be praised. Oh, God can be praised. Now, oh, God can be praised. My God can be praised. Even though I don't deserve it, everything is possible, Lord. I said, even though I don't deserve it, everything is possible today. Oh, even though I don't deserve it, everything is working for my, everything is working for my. I said, even though I don't deserve it, everything is working for my, working for my. Yeah. Only God give me grace. It's my prayer.
Oh, yes, there's no mate in grace.
This is my prayer.
A recommendation take you, it takes your character to keep you there. This song is so meaningful. This song is so powerful. Before we go to other issues, Ambassador, before we go to the line, this song, give me a little insight of how you put these pieces together.
One day, everyone in their lives have their lows and highs. So one time I wanted to give my testimony, and I know that because there's so many things you hear about me that I don't even know about myself, but it's grace. And a lot of things have happened to me positively. And I just wanted to give God the glory. Instead of giving Satan the glory, I gave God the glory and his grace. And I realized that the grace upon my life is prevenient. And it's an unction from other men of God, women of God that have helped me through, that put me into that area. Even the people, I don't deserve it, it's by God.
Wow.
Even though I don't deserve it, but God gave me grace. He is my hope. He is my song. Even in the courtroom, God is my lawyer. Enemies become arches under the soles of my feet. I give thanks to him because he's good and his mercy endureth forever. I call upon him in distress. He answered me and set me in a large place. What can man do unto me? The Lord taketh my path with them that help me. Therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me. And I know it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. So I gave it with grace. And the grace upon my life is prevenient. It was through that I made that song.
Wow.
I did that song in the bathroom.
You good at the pulpit too?
I feared God.
Okay, one question before we go to the line, because in Liberia we run with information we do not verify.
Yeah.
Now that we have you seated in the studio on this 3rd day of June, the Liberian people are listening. You heard the ambassadorial position, cultural ambassadorial position. Were you being paid by government?
That's a good question. Before I answer that question, let me just extend congratulations to the government of Liberia, especially to His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr., that Liberia will win this seat at the UN.
Oh, yeah.
And today,
And I saw that prophecy you put on your page.
we will celebrate.
170
people will vote for Liberia. So I just wanted to say that. And to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, take your heart, Mama. You've done well. You and your team. To Karishma, Superwoman. Thank you. Well, I'm going to be as earnest as I can be on this station. First thing, people don't even know that I was never appointed as cultural ambassador by the former President Charles Gange Taylor. It's a myth. It's not true. They just run with it like that. David D. Bumakbo. At the time, the Minister of Information was Joe Wolba. He was the Minister of Information. The Liberian people got together and went to the ministry and said, we want JULI ENDEE to be our cultural ambassador. Then the ministry wrote the president and said,
The people say they want JULI to be the cultural ambassador. And then the foreign minister commissioned me. The commissioning ceremony was done by Edward Kennedy. He is now the protocol to the president, Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr. So everything I'm telling you. For the last 30 years, I work with Minister Grisby. I work with George Wallace. I've never, ever been paid. If you see any check issued to the Cultural Ambassador Republic of Liberia by the government of Liberia, you do anything you want to do. Take every risk from me. Never. I've written government, I've written proposals to government through Liberia Crusaders for Peace. Like people will go and vet for contract, and then the best person with the best track record wins. That's what I've been doing. I've been using my own platform as Crusader for Peace to promote government's initiatives. I participated in the Accra Peace Accord, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. I was never financed to go. The Americans evacuated me to take me to America. I got off from Cote d'Ivoire and I went to Ghana, and I participated with Crusaders for Peace. We were never paid. We were in the street asking for money. And one of the person that gave us money in Ghana in the street, at the time, he was an ambassador for sports. Former President George Manawia in the street of Ghana. But we participated. I was the one that did the drama with my team. And because of that, Salome Abu Bakar gave me 12 perfumes. I said, you are a powerful woman. It was when Ghana recognized me, and then the Ghanaian government, through the coordinator, Francis Poku, got the Ghana tickets and put us on the plane to come. When I organized the concept here, Ghana brought Air Force One to ATS and put the equipment down. That's my role for Liberia. Free, pro bono, zero. When I had issue here and I wanted to leave Liberia, it was President Joseph Yuma Boakai that told me not to leave, that I should not burn my house for mosquito. And that's how I stay in this country. Never paid me. Everything I did was pro bono. As I speak to you, the lapas you see with Madam Sully picture on it and Vice President at the time, Joseph Boakai picture on it. Counters like Sino owe me, they have not paid. Lofa County, they haven't paid. I'm giving you facts. Cape Mount, they haven't paid. You understand what I'm telling you? Bapolo. But do I go on radio and fight them? No, I can't. I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot. They have everything I did for Liberia. I kept 30 years Liberia have not performed in France to UNESCO. The ambassador in China now was in Paris. Liberia did not have the money to go to carry the artists. I took a band and a troupe from Liberia. I financed it and I went 30 years on UNESCO stage and I performed and everyone gave me standing ovation. And I carried a picture of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Joseph Yuma Boakai on the stage after 30 years. Everybody were in tears. The records are there. Government and no office, no car, no stationaries, nothing. It's a goodwill title bestowed upon you for life. It's not something they take away. Maybe it's something different, but it's no office. You have no office. You have no title. You just there. You do it. Independence Day come, they call Crusaders for Peace. We are on there as Crusaders for Peace. We help government because it's our mandate to support and promote government's effort. No salary. Go to the Ministry of Finance. They ever pay. Except money they owe me, then they pay. Work that I do for different organizations like Wages, Health, Education, City Government, then the government pay based on a contractual agreement. And the reason I don't want to showcase some figures is because of confidentiality, because there's a confidentiality clause in every contract you signed. But government to pay me for the level of work that I do in this country for government? Zero. Breeze. Bring the facts. No office, nothing. I've answered that today.
No office, nothing.
No salary.
0887 105 105 0778 665 073. With just 5 minutes to go, put through your calls. Let's hear you. The Queen is in the building. The Queen is talking. She's talking tough. Osaka EXPO 2025. Japan. She been telling you in detail how you can get engaged with that. You can also ask questions concerning other things that has to do with traveling to Japan and getting some. Maybe you need to have her as a consultant. Say, oh, my children love culture. Can you please get them? Ask her. She's here. 0887 105 105 0778 665 073. Our numbers to call, and let us get talking to the Queen Judy ENDEE. She's here. She's been around. She knows about this on the history side. I want to bring it out there. Let's go to the line and talk to this person. Hello,
Yeah, good morning.
John J.
Yeah, my brother, thank you for the recognition. For the sake of the Liberian radio, them and you, Janjeta, and I don't know what they want to say fast.
Let's hear you, John J.
Yeah, I want to say good morning to Mother Institute and good morning to the Liberian and following radio then. But I want to say thank you for stepping our country for a period of time. I want to say thank you. But my question to you is that we have cultural center of people or we have cultural center in the bureau because alligator that king or state on the presidential during those days, they sold Canada to other people to do business there. But I want to know if we had a cultural center in the bureau or just people or just what they need. And I want to know for now how you are studying for the culture to be or which level you want to be in the bureau, which level you want for how you look at it for the part of the other people or other African nations that take part in our culture and going on. If that will be impact with other nations, I want to know from now on how you expect for Liberian culture society to be. So thank you for your hard work for Liberia in the past.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. So, you can.
I should answer this?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenji. Liberia has a cultural center on that is being developed. There's a center on Marshall. The Minister of Information is working closely to make sure that that center is up and running. They have some structures on it. I've personally have visited it with the minister and the Assistant Minister of Culture and other ministers, and they are very serious on it. They have some imports from international partners that will be helping to make sure their culture center is up and coming. There's other centers too around. You have the Besau Cultural Village. You have the cultural village in Nimba and Bon County. You have these different cultural centers in Lufa. It's just to reactivate them and get them moving and coming. But I'm sure you understand that the president's interest is actually culture and tourism. So that culture center will be up and coming very, very soon. If you have the time, you can pass there. We would like to see Liberia culture grow, but we're not just thinking of culture in terms of dancing. We want to look at the different aspect of our culture, our economic culture, our diverse culture, tourism, and and what is happening, visitation, image building for our country, economic diplomacy, these different parts of aspect of our culture, good governance, light to shine on Liberian and taking the children out of the street, drugs, These are all parts of our culture, and we are getting there. Cleaning the city is also part of our culture, because cleanliness is next to godliness, and so the city is being cleaned now. I want to say thank you so much to the mayor of the city of Monrovia. Mayor have done very well. In a short period of time, I see light. I see the city being green, and I trust his judgment. And he will be going to Osaka, meeting with other mayors and other people that will be interested in investing in these things. And Tony Kabade and Soniga Diebo and Milkman and all these Zubin and all these guys are putting up big things for the expo, and I'm telling you, our culture will be showcased. Don't worry. And there's other different people, I might not know their name, they're doing their own thing, and of course, and it's working. Our gospel music is going wild. Our musicians are doing good music now. You know, our instrumentalists are getting super, and our dancers, our drummers. I went to Japan. I looked all around, all the performances the people have done. I say, when Liberia come here, they will kill this place. And you know, we are very unique in our way, in our performances, our dress code. We got our cuisine. We'll be showcasing with our chef in Japan also. So that's how I want to see our culture evolve, because now there's living culture. And then we can move forward. Now that the tourism sector is now booming, we get like minds that can make it better. The president of Barbados was here. That's another way, because Barbados, that's what they are known for. If we can just connect and have cultural exchange, different areas, and Japan is having cultural exchange with Liberia, that's what I would like to see the culture go. Whether Madame sold the cultural center to someone, let me stay out of it, because you know I'm not a politician. I don't work for government, so I'm not a spokesperson for government, and I will leave it like that.
Okay, time is fast spent. Any other final word or things that we should have touched?
Today is a wonderful day for Liberia. Liberia should be celebrating. I like the spirit from the diaspora. I like the spirit from Liberia. Everybody's getting on board to make sure Liberia make history again for the UN Security Council seat. We look forward to this news when the election takes place this evening, and we will be celebrating, and all of the stars that you can think about will be at the grounds of the foreign ministry. The band is there, the orchestra is there, women will be assembling there. We're gonna have a good time. And again, with Osaka, Japan, if you don't understand anything and you really want to go, anybody can go. Don't let anybody tell you can't go. Anybody can go to Japan and participate in the expo. Just go on the Capital Bypass, fill up your form, get the information, the right information, and you can go and all of that. And I'm there to help you. So come and discuss. You can be a business people, you can be a church going person, you can be a Muslim, a Christian, whatever it is that you want to go to experience in Japan to make your life better. Just contact us at the Capital Bypass, where you see the picture of President Bwaka and the Vice President. And I'm telling you, that will be the way to go in Osaka, Japan. Come and celebrate with us.
She's Queen Judy ENDEE. She's been here sharing breakfast with us. In Union Strong Success, a show with God above our rights to prove we overall prevail. With hearts and hands, our country cause defending. We meet the fall with valor unpretending. Like I always say, two things in this life you always be remembered for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And we must take responsibility of two things in our lives: our fortune and that of our misfortune. My name is Rufus Divan Cannon. I lead and other follow. First among equals. Of course, I'm destined for greatness. Have you and yours a wonderful and God bless day. Follow the rest of our broadcast.
Oh,